It's time now for Countywide, a special presentation of Yavapai Broadcasting News. Join Paul David and Jen Cohen as they talk with our community's leaders, newsmakers, and people in the know. You'll hear about the hot topics that affect all our lives in Yavapai County. And now, here's today's Countywide.
Hello and welcome to Countywide. I'm your host, Jen Cohen. Thank you so much for joining us today. Today we are talking with Colleen Gilboy, the director of the Verde Valley Fairgrounds. We're going to talk about the Verde Valley Fair Association. Here's a lot of things you may not know about the Verde Valley Fairgrounds, and Colleen is here to deliver them all.
Yay!
The website is vvfair.com. If you go there, you can find their calendar of events. You can find out their mission statement, everything, how to get involved if you want to volunteer. Everything you need is on vvfair.com. Great. You have been the director now since 2013, so
6 years.
6 years.
This will be my 7th fair.
Yeah, wow. And the fair, that's really your big thing every year.
That's our big thing every year, correct.
Yeah,
About 25,000 people come through the gates in those 5 days.
Wow. Yeah, that's wow. That's a lot.
Yes.
That's a lot of trash and water and sewage and lights and just
animals.
And animals. Wow, geez. So let's start out talking about the Verde Valley Fair Association. There's a lot of things I think people don't understand about that. First of all, 501c3, a non-for-profit organization. I think people kind of look at you as if you were one of the casinos and you have these events and you charge money, but that's not the case.
No, we're a 501c3. We're self-sufficient. We're owned by our members. We have 105 owners, basically. We've been in existence since the 60s, and so we function on our own. If we make the money, we can spend the money. And so we don't have a backing by the city or the county. You don't have a fleet of vehicles. Usually it's what people have donated off of their place. They're like, we don't want this anymore, give it to the fairgrounds. But yeah, so we're a nonprofit 501c3.
Wow, see, you wouldn't think that.
No.
And so you're run by volunteers.
100% by volunteers. There's 2 full-time staff year-round and 2 part-time year-round. And then for fair, we have a lot of temporary employees.
Of course.
But most of the year, we are run by volunteers.
By volunteers. That's fantastic. So the taxes that get paid in the counties and the cities, none of that goes to support you at the fairgrounds.
Correct. We just are building new bathrooms right now, and the VACT, the school educational,
Yes.
that's been amazing. They've been over helping, doing the roofing and pouring the concrete. And so it literally is put up by volunteers.
Wow. So when you need something, say your parking lot has ruts in it, and you need that, what do you do?
You put the word out, and with the Verde Valley, everybody is so amazing with supporting us. I mean, you just have to tell people, I need help. So Minerals Research, who is reclaiming the slag pile, brought over 2 big tractors, and they're taking out the big ruts in the parking lot.
Wow.
And so that's what they're doing actually today as we're on TV.
That's amazing. Because you would think, looking at you and looking at the grandness of the fairgrounds, that you've got a back warehouse that has, backhoes and front end loaders and all kinds of stuff in it, because that's what you would need to function in such a big place. But you're saying that's not so. No,
and there's a lot of local residents who tractor over their backhoes or their compactors. We put granite in the steer bin, and somebody brought over a compactor to pack that down so it would be level. But yes, we don't have the equipment. We have a tractor that's from 1965 tractor, and we baby it.
Yeah.
And so it's all by donations and volunteers, but we're a vital part of the community.
Yes.
So people do care and they do support us year round, all the time. If we have a water line break, if we have a power problem, electricians, plumbers, they volunteer their time at the fairgrounds. We do pay bills, don't get me wrong, but we couldn't function without everybody else's contributions as well.
Well, that's true. Yeah, I know you pay thousands of dollars in bills for water and electricity. But the mission of the Verde Valley Fair Association and having that fairgrounds there, it's an economic stimulator for the area and tourism development for the Verde Valley. So it's bringing in money to the area, and also the youth groups. Let's talk about what it does for youth groups.
So we have all different kind of youth activities year-round. We have our FFA, 4-H program, organized youth. If they want to have a function, they can have it at the fairgrounds because that is their event. That is their facility. But other organizations and kids use us as well because we have a lot of space. We have buildings. We have a lot of size to us. So they come and use our facility, and youth programs have a priority with us. So in the fall, we have our pie auctions, and that is an amazing event. And that's for our FFA programs to raise money for jackets and conferences and that sort of thing. We have youth rodeos. We have one during fair, which is on Wednesday night, May 1st. But then throughout the year, we have youth rodeos from all around. And so you said an economic driver. When these youth rodeos come in, there's 200 youth that come. Most of them can't drive a vehicle. So there's parents, grandparents. They come to watch them. They're renting hotel rooms. They're eating in our restaurants. They're using gas. Maybe they're going to, tour other things while they're here. But they're at the fairgrounds for that event. And we have goat shows, rodeos, welding. We had a welding event for 5 Western states. It was high school kids. Mr. Lamer brought in these welding groups from 5 Western states, and they came and they built stuff there. Well, that's hotel rooms, that's food, and they're using the fairgrounds as their facility to do their event.
That's fantastic. So where does the money come from to support the fairgrounds?
Well, the fair. So we try and make money at the fair to sustain us all year, but each event should pay for itself. Its power, its gas, and all that should pay. So when we have a goat show, their rental fee should pay for what they use. And that.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. That's amazing to have to organize all of that. You are, wow, a very busy lady, as always, as I've always known that. But now that I know some backstory behind it, that's incredible. And these youth organizations, without the fairgrounds, would have nowhere to go.
Well, yeah, it's hard. I mean, we have 2 large buildings that are 7,200 square feet apiece. That's a pretty big space. So they have 300 people come to their pie auction. So they make quite a bit of money to support their event. Now that event, we don't get anything for. That is for our FFA youth. We don't charge them. And so we have worked with the high school with prom before, not prom, excuse me, homecoming. And they've used our facility because they didn't have a facility. So they've used us. We did charge them a very small fee, but they used our event center.
Yes. I've been to many events there at your event center. I go to the Manzanita Outreach Packing event is held there.
Correct, and they use 4 buildings.
Yes,
so they use a lot of buildings.
That's a big deal. And I've been to Chamber of Commerce events there.
Right.
And I've been to other sorts of fundraisers there. So it's nice that you've got those room rentals in those buildings. And then, of course, you have your arena. And then there's all kinds of things going on, which we're going to take a short break. So we're not going to get into all that yet. And, of course, we're going to talk about the fair. When we come back, we're going to talk about what's going on for the 2019 fair, which is adorable. Rodeos, cows, ribbons, and sows. Way too fun. All kinds of information is available for you on vvfair.com. If you go to vvfair.com, you can find everything you need to know about RV camping, the arena, the calendar of events of what's going on, everything about the fair. If you want to get involved and volunteer, if you want to donate time, money, equipment, anything at all, vvfair.com is where you're going to go. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back, so don't go away.
Do you feel like people are avoiding you? Don't be a dreaded spreader. Protect yourself and those around you from flu. Here's 3 things you should do. Get a flu vaccine each year. Take everyday preventive actions to stop the spread of germs, like covering coughs and sneezes and washing your hands, and stay home if you're sick. If you do get the flu, contact a healthcare professional right away and take flu antivirals if prescribed. Don't be a dreaded spreader. Take 3 steps to fight flu.
Most of us want to make some type of difference in the lives of others. St. Jude does miraculous work.
The fact that no one has to pay, it's a place where everyone is treated as an equal.
Everybody is welcome here, and it doesn't matter, your religion or, what part of the world you're from, that just sort of all that is taken away. It just gives you some hope.
yo siento que soy parte de esa bendición que ese niño recibió al irse a su casa ya sanado.
It's just a nice feeling to put your energy into something that really does genuinely make a difference in a child's life.
There's just no greater gift. If we have the ability to help, then we have a responsibility to help.
Mandalay Homes introduces the new Ion Series, a revolutionary new approach to home building innovation and energy management. Built on a foundation of industry-leading energy efficiency and sustainable building practices, the Ion Series home redefines how we use and manage renewable energy. Contact a Mandalay Home sales executive today to learn more, or visit one of our Ion Series communities throughout northern Arizona.
And welcome back to Countywide. We're talking with Colleen Gilboy. She's the director of the Verde Valley Fairgrounds. We've been talking about the Verde Valley Fair Association. Of course, you know about the Verde Valley Fair. It happens every year. It's the most amazing event in the Verde Valley. This one's coming up May 1st through the 5th. All kinds of stuff is happening at the fair this year.
It's very exciting.
Bigger and better every year. I know that sounds like a slogan, but it's true.
It is. This year we have a chainsaw carver coming, and we have a tiger coming. Wow. So we have lots of new stuff this year.
Last year you had seals.
Yes, we did.
That was a riot.
Well, and our deal is we want to expose people that maybe don't travel and see these types of animals. So we try and bring something new in each year.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that was a great show. And of course the rodeo is always my favorite.
I know, and this year we added Friday night a rough stock event, and it's called Stray Gathering, and it's local ranches, farmers that will be gathering strays, and it's a time competition, and there's belt buckles, and it's totally... I think it's more like a little kid roughhousing. I don't know. It's just like
fun.
Cowboys out there running around trying to catch cattle.
Well, that's cool. And that's Friday night.
That's Friday night. And then Saturday night we have the rough stock with the bulls in the Bronx.
Yeah, the bulls in the Bronx. You can't go wrong there. And then all those folks coming from United States wide to participate in this and to forward their career in earnings and in winnings and in buckles and saddles. And so you're seeing like real professional people who are on their way to the PBR and to the, all those championships. It's a big deal.
We're kind of on the way.
Yeah.
And so they can stop over, do us one night and just keep right on trucking.
Then you have livestock auctions. Those are great. Let's talk about the youth groups and the livestock.
So our kids raise animals. Some of them, the steers are over a year. Mm-hmm. They raise steers for over a year to be able to sell at auction. And so they feed them, they walk them, they train them, they wash them. I've never seen it, but they wash their cows and they have a blow dryer.
Oh my God.
And then their hair's real fuzzy, and that's important.
Oh.
But so at the livestock auction, the kids that have won grand champion and reserve champion, they get to sell. All of them get to sell that have market animals, but they're put in a certain section of the auction to be really exciting. And so people can purchase these animals that have been raised by kids, and a lot of these kids use those funds for college. And so it's a great thing. Anything a business or an individual pays over market rate is a tax write-off because we are a 501c3. And so if you purchase a steer at auction, anything over market value, which we don't know what market value will be till that day, will be it can be a tax write-off.
Well, that's handy to know.
It's really awesome. And the meat is amazing.
Right, and you've got processors there ready, so if you buy it, you walk over to the next table, and so you don't have to get your hands dirty if you don't want to.
Right.
And then, of course, you've got, meat for your family for a year, and you have supported a local youth get to college, forward their agricultural degree. Future Farmers of America is an amazing organization that is through there, and we're talking not only steer, but lamb and pig and chicken and goats, and there's ducks and
so
turkeys.
It's really exciting to see some of those kids do breeding projects where they maybe get a heifer, and so then the next year they have a heifer with a baby. And so maybe that baby is a steer. So then the next year they will have the heifer and the steer in the market animal. And so we have kids that actually are working on their own herds, and they've been doing it. You can't show a market steer, goat, lamb, or hog until you're 9. So before then you can do the rabbits, the turkeys, the chickens, and that sort of thing. But you can't do market animals until you're 9 years old. And so those kids, we have a lot of kids that do breeding projects, and so they actually have 1 or 2 heifers, and they're raising their own animals for the next year's fair. We have kids that have goats, that they breed the goats and sell the goats to the other kids in the Verde Valley. So they have a breeding project that they are earning money on an annual basis.
Wow. And at the 9 years old.
Yeah.
That's great. Talk about setting a kid up for success. Now, since we're talking about animals, let's talk about the fact that you are an emergency services livestock center.
So whenever there's a fire in the Verde Valley, flooding, we are open, and that we are where people can bring their animals during times of tragedy. And just for safety, if it's maybe going to happen, people bring them up. You don't want to wait till the last minute to move horses and pigs, and that it's not a 5-minute process. So people bring them up the day of, like, okay, the river's supposed to raise, we need to bring our animals, so here they come.
Wow, that's amazing. An official emergency services site for livestock, horses and cows, and of course small animals as well.
Correct. We don't have dog pens, but people usually have a crate or something, but we have a location they can bring them.
Wow, that's really good to know in the case of a flood or fire, as we are entering into fire season. And even though we've had rain, we're worried about that. So what else can we talk about that we don't know about this?
So we hold many events at the fair. We hold reunions, we hold wedding anniversaries, we hold weddings, we hold quinceañeras, we have birthday parties. There's pretty much unlimited. People have motorcycle rallies, and we're their start and stop point. They have benefits there. Our calendar is kind of full. Everybody wants Saturday night, so it's a little tough to juggle some events, but we try very hard to accommodate everybody. But anybody can rent the facility.
Nice. Good to know. And of course, the annual Flywheelers show.
Correct.
That is awesome. And that arena that you have is amazing. And how it works through membership is fascinating.
So we have arena. We've had it it's been on the property for many years. And it used to be the city, the county, and the fairgrounds partnership. And now it's just everybody else is out, and we have the arena now. And so people can rent the facility to hold an event, barrel race, team roping, or they can come ride, and it's $25 a year for an individual, $35 a year for a family, and $5 for a day pass. If you just want to come and ride for one day, you just pay $5. But other people can ride. You can come on Tuesdays at noon and ride if you're a member of the Fair Association Arena.
Well, that's good to know, because we don't have that type of facility, and you can trailer in, and it's very, very inexpensive, $25 for a year. I mean, that's nothing. And a groomed arena, a gorgeous groomed arena, it's enormous. It's 100 by something.
It's large.
Enormous. I think it's an acre or something. I read in the literature one year. I was being a nerd about that. I'm like, oh, it's over an acre of arena. I'm so
it's
jealous.
Wonderful. We've worked on the ground for the last 3 years, and so it's really great now. And we groom it every week. We don't have a set day to groom, but we have volunteers that come in and groom it. And so yet another place that we use volunteers.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And so we have a practice arena as well. So we have the 2 arenas. We have a round pen, and then we have stalls. So we have a lot of people who trailer, are coming from Canada down in the wintertime, and they will stay with us in an RV and rent stalls and spend the night before they continue on.
Oh, very good. That is good to know. And yes, you have RV camping.
Yep.
Dry and wet, I suppose, is what.
Dry and with electric.
Dry and with electric. There you go. And which is handy. You don't think about that. You don't think, oh, well, wait, that's a great stopover. And of course, if you have livestock, it's definitely a great.
And that's
place.
where our big push is for people with livestock. You have your horses, you have your mules, whatever it is. We can accommodate that.
Wow, that's great. All that information, again, is on the website, vvfair.com. Go to the monthly calendar of events. As we can see, it is quite booked. You'll see there's special things in the arena, and then there's special performances, and then this 4-H club is meeting there, and then the Quilter Society is coming in that time, and then the Chickens on Parade is happening on that weekend. And of course, we have the amazing Verde Valley Fair coming up, 2019 Fair, Rodeos, Cows, Ribbons, and Sows. That's May 1st through the 5th. We're going to take another quick break, but we'll be right back with more from Colleen Gilboy, so don't go away.
What does it look like when a life is truly changed?
I feel a sense of accomplishment because I built a house. This house has brought us financial independence.
It's a great place to raise a family. Strength. Fuerza. When I look back where we've come from to where we are today, it makes my heart very happy.
Potential. Potencia.
For me, this house means all of us together.
Sorry. Together.
Security.
Security.
Every family dreams to have their own house. This house changed our lives.
Habitat for Humanity is at work in your community and around the world. Through shelter, we empower.
We develop quality citizens who keep our core, our country, and our communities side by side on the winning side. Not for glory, but for honor. For a code that isn't written or spoken, but lived. It's what we do. It's who we are. It's the battle cry of our fighting spirit. Battles won. See all the battles Marines fight to win at marines.com.
And welcome back to Countywide. Just a few seconds left. I'm Jen Cohen. We're talking with Colleen Gilboy. She is the director of the Verde Valley Fairgrounds, the Verde Valley Fair Association. We've been talking about, check out vvfair.com. Okay, we're really trying to get it out there, Colleen, how different the Verde Valley Fairgrounds is from, say, Fort Tuttle up in Flag. Can you give us a couple of differences between the two?
So Fort Tuttle is county owned and operated. So if they're doing a building project, they will bring in building maintenance. So Parks and Rec runs the fairgrounds, and building maintenance would build the building or whatever they were doing, the sidewalk. Mm-hmm. Verde Valley Fairgrounds is Verde Valley Fairgrounds, and so if we're going to build something, we try and find volunteers mostly to help so that we can expend our money on other things, but we do pay for a lot of it, but then we build it and that sort of thing. And it's not city money, it's not tax money, it's not property taxes, sales tax. We're not supported by that.
Right.
And so it is us building it. And so a lot of our stuff, it takes us a longer period of time. Mm-hmm.
Sure, because you don't have the city or the county to back you up.
Right.
If you have a shortfall one month, then you have a shortfall. It's not, hey, can you throw us some money? So this, I can see why things like sponsorships must be really important to you.
They are. We live on our sponsorships and our local businesses. We try and give back to them by advertising for them at our events. But, you know, trash service. S. Taylor & Sons Hauling has done this for us for years, and they do it at no cost because they care about us. But people sponsor benches. They stay at the fairgrounds year-round. Mm-hmm. We use them for our weddings, for our quinceañeras, for fair. They have their business name on them, but they stay at the fairgrounds. Mm-hmm. Our planters, same way. We put flowers in them, plants in them. It has their business name on it, but it stays at the fairgrounds. It's a beautification. You know, you want your fairgrounds to be beautiful. Mm-hmm. This is not ours. This is our community.
Right.
And so it's how we function, is with our sponsors. People sponsor the awards for the kids. The kids win belt buckles. You want to see a kid light up is when they win that belt buckle for senior showman. It means they have done the best that they can and they're number one. And so people sponsor those awards.
Right. Those cost money. And money's got to come from somewhere. Now, as a 501c3, of course, you're applicable for the tax credit, the Arizona tax credit every year. Of course, donations any time of year.
Correct.
You don't have to wait till it's tax time. Arizona Gives Day, of course, we've just passed it, but maybe next year folks could consider, oh, I should think about the Verde Valley Fair grounds and to help to further that. What do you need right now? Is there anything you're like, gosh, if we just had the money, we could do that?
A tractor.
A tractor.
A tractor is our really big thing. We're going to try and have a fundraiser. I think my tractor is sexy because when the local tire shop, Reese's Tire, comes up to change the tire, he's like, okay, we don't have very many more of these tires, and we have never seen the it's a weird fitting tire and rim. And so it was really funny. He's like, you have to replace this tire. So we are going to have to replace a tractor here in the next very short time period.
Okay, so a tractor. So if you got an extra tractor hanging around.
Earlier than 1960, or older, younger than 1965.
There you go. Then consider maybe donating it to the Verde Valley Fairgrounds. Colleen, you do so much there. I hope that you feel as appreciated as you should be. So
thank you. I love it.
You're doing, and it shows. You're just the most charismatic person in the Verde Valley. So I will see you at the fair, and of course we'll see everyone at the fair May 1st through the 5th. That's all the time we have for countywide. vvfair.com for all kinds of information. I'll see you again next time.